Hey, this is Totally Tropical Todd. I've got a Wednesday afternoon Hurricane Milton update for you. Hurricane Milton has dropped down to a category 4, um, but is predicted to get back up to, 155 mile per hour gusts. This is to category 3, category 4 when it makes landfall tonight. It is still predicted to hit right now. Basically, the track's going essentially right over Sarasota. This is a positive scenario for Tampa, as the right hand side of the storm is the strongest and where we'll feel the strongest storms get the strongest storm surge. But even with a 8 to 10 foot storm surge predicted for Tampa Bay now, could be quite devastating. Tampa's very low lying, and as is Cape Coral. We're going to see some pretty serious damage, particularly to the barrier islands here. The track is now definitely south. It was the original track was right along this I-4 corridor here. You could see that this has moved significantly to the south, although this is still within the cone. And this storm has wiggled a little bit on the path, so there's times where I've looked where it's actually tracked south of the track, which as it's forecast to continue to do so now. But it also is currently sitting just a little bit north of where it was predicted. Several friends have been asking me, what we're going to feel here in Palm Beach County. And what we're going to feel or what we're going to experience, this is a tremendous, it started out as a very small, tightly cored storm, and the storm has grown. And what I want to do is I want to show you this other map here, very similar map to what we were just looking at. And you can see, the storm is hooking a little bit more northerly. So we may see this thing still hitting a little further north. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to turn on the satellite image that shows the storm. I could turn the opacity down a little bit here so we can see where this is in relation to the state. So I wish there was a better way of showing this on this map, but here's Palm Beach County. You can see we're not really in, getting these, we're getting some bands coming through, but as this thing moves, this is a huge storm, and a lot of the weather up ahead of this storm was to the north. But as this storm passes, you could see some of the biggest weather here is to the south of the eye. So we're going to be getting a lot of heavy rain and winds here from the Keys all the way north to the Space Coast. We're gonna be hammered. Now that said, and I want to show you. Turn on the wind field. Here we go. The wind stream. This is also very cool. So you can see the faster this moves, the faster the wind speed. They're also colored more brightly based on the wind speed. And so you can see, this has a large wind field. We're already feeling it. I'm sitting right about here on this map, and I'm already getting, some pretty gusty winds, and you can see these winds should be out of the southeast, right? And as this thing moves, we'll get more southerly winds, and then eventually more westerly winds out of the west as this thing passes us. For here in Palm Beach County, I'm saying specifically. Let me turn that off, and let's look at. Let's see. This is our flash flood threat. So at least 70% flood chance still in Orlando and in Tampa. So, those of you who are in Orlando, a lot of my friends and some family in Orlando might be thinking like, oh, well, the storm's tracking south. It's not going over I-4, but remember, we've been getting rain for days. We've been getting rain for weeks, and this is going to dump a lot of rain. So the chances of flash floods is very high. And one other thing as well is in both Miami and Broward County, we've already seen tornadoes today. So we've been seeing tornadoes today. Let me put this satellite back on. Um, with these bands moving through, we've already gotten tornadoes. There was a tornado down Alligator Alley earlier today, tornadoes in Miami. So we could have some significant tornado outbreak from this, and that could really occur pretty much anywhere with these storms. Hurricanes, not every hurricane produces tornadoes, but some hurricanes can produce a lot of tornadoes. So that can be a significant threat from this storm. So just be careful. If you hear what sounds like a train approaching, that's what tornadoes are known to sound like a freight train coming right at your house. Usually the safe, get away from windows, get away from exterior rooms, move to an interior room like a bathroom or a closet. Bathrooms tend to be the safest, specifically in bathtubs. So if you haven't filled your tub with water, that's usually the safest place. But interior rooms, those tend to be safe. And if you see a tornado and it's coming directly at your house, in the bathtub with a mattress over you is not a bad way to protect yourself. Hopefully it doesn't come to that for anyone. But anyway, this is a very, very large storm. Just zooming out here to give you some perspective. This was the weather we had a few days ago. Then we got into this dry slot yesterday, which was, kind of nice. And now we're in the thick of feeling this. And you could see here from the satellite, this thing is this massive, massive storm system. We focus on the core right here, but you could see this thing's already affecting the weather in the Carolinas. And they've already, especially in North Carolina, suffered enough in recent days. So please be safe, and I will post some more updates as information changes.